Hey guys, just felt like doing a spur of the moment video. Mostly because, I don't know, things are crazy and the world's seemingly more and more divided. So, no matter which side of the debate you're on, I feel like the most important thing for us is to not fight each other, not to hate each other, and turn the other side into the enemy, because in the grand scheme of everything, we're all in this together. So it really doesn't benefit us to try to find someone who's the enemy and label them. This label doesn't do anything. This doesn't change anything. It doesn't solve the problems. And in fact, it just makes it harder to come together over this. And why is there always a train when I want to do a good video? Oh, darn it. It might get noisy in a bit here. But I'm going to go back over by this bush here. But yeah, generally the way I look at it is, if we're not moving together forward, if we're not moving forward together, then it's going to fail. No matter which side we take, no matter what we try to do, if we're divided against each other, we're falling. And I'm not saying this means we need to give up our ideologies or give up on our beliefs or change, or all of a sudden all drone think the same. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying that we need to focus on what we can work on together, what we do agree on, because there are more things in common we have than we do have different than each other. And if we could simply just focus on that and stop arguing over all the small things, or even in some cases work on the small things that you can solve and stop worrying about the big things. We have to do what we can and stop just sitting here and arguing with each other, because that does absolutely nothing. Yeah. I am guilty of getting stuck in all of this myself. I've been focused way too much on trying to win arguments, debate the numbers, debate the information out there, and I do believe there's a lot of manipulation going on in the media. So I don't trust anything until I've read the papers myself or I've done some research. And I have to go based on what's my own personal experiences in life, because you can't trust the media, can't trust what's being put out there. They can really make anyone's face say whatever they want. It's a whole new world. So take everything with a grain of salt. But basically, as for how we're moving forward, I think train's gone. I think what's happening is we're maybe the people at the top do think they're doing something good, and they don't actually think they're pulling the wool over our eyes or deceiving us, and they just all think we're idiots. And there is a lot of that in the world, where everyone's just well, everyone else in the world's dumb. They need to be steered. We need to force them to do the right thing, because otherwise they won't do anything. And that's, although maybe you do have the right thing in mind, if you're forcing people to do it, there's always going to be resistance. That's just kind of human nature. So we have to figure out a way to stop treating everybody like children and start bringing society up to an adult kind of behavior. So we need to change how we communicate with each other. We need to start spending more time to actually listen to both sides. Being distracted, there is a beautiful monarch butterfly. I'm kind of a natural prairie reserve with lots of milkweed for the monarch butterflies. But yeah, anyways, we can't force each other to do things. So how can we actually solve this? Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of evidence that the media is being manipulated. Government has, told us a lot of lies just to try to sway our opinions and our actions, as opposed to simply telling us the truth and allowing us to make our own choices and deal with the consequences. Instead, we just blame the orange guy at the top, or the bush, or whatever we believe is the reason why they're horrible people at the top. And we don't realize this is just a system of scapegoating, where we're like, maybe the next president, next prime minister will be better. Maybe things will change if we just vote differently, or if we do this, we do that. But the thing is, we're not really doing anything. We're asking the government to do things for us. And then we're getting mad at them for when they do it wrong. And we're telling ourselves we're powerless because all we can do is vote, and the voting system is gerrymandered and rigged, and everybody's believing that they have to vote for the lesser of the two evils as opposed to voting with their actual heart, because somehow that's been pounded into our head by corporate media. Wonder why? But the whole gist of it is just that, like, if we're going to ask the government to change, or if we're going to get frustrated and we're going to try to burn the system down, all of these things are just still trying different versions of pressuring the government to do things. And what we need to do is instead self-organize, create our own system where we can tell the government, this is exactly what we want. You either listen to us, or we start doing what we are choosing to do. We stop listening to the government. We make you obsolete. And that's really the true point in society, where we stop being children that are blaming our parents for everything that's wrong, and we start taking control of society ourselves, because that's what it is. This is the power of our choice is what's given up to politicians. And we need to take that back, make our own choices, learn to live with our mistakes, and we're going to make some mistakes. This is going to be like children moving out. We're going to buy ourselves a lot of beer at first. And then we're going to realize that doesn't make good breakfast. So we're going to learn to eat healthy. And society has a lot of sickness in it. We have a lot of things that we say is okay because it makes money. But money isn't a good judgment of value. So we need to learn to take our value back. And when we do that, we'll suddenly see what's really valuable in the world. So, just earlier I saw some people out here. I believe they're volunteers. They were just picking invasive species out of this beautiful prairie land, and doing it because they believe that this is really important. And it is. Like, right here, right behind me, wild plum tree. You can be eating plums here in Manitoba just in a walk in the park. Earlier I found grapes. There's wild rice over here. There is cat nine tails, which if year-round you all of a sudden find yourself starving, you can dig up the roots. It's like potatoes. You can eat the early stalks in springs, and it's kind of like I don't even know what to compare it to, but it's a vegetable. You can eat it. Basically, at any point in the season, you can eat this. Like, that's food right there. Like, mind you, this used to be a bit of a dump, so this is not going to be what you want to go eat all the time until this is fully cleaned. I hear there is still some arsenic levels here. But if the world came to a halt, there's no food in the grocery store, you simply have to understand the plants around you. You walk out here, and that's more of a grass, but I think you can eat the grain. I have to do some more research on that. But someone's smoking weed out here. It smells great. So this right over here, these plants. Here's a good one. This plant right here, that's wild rice. It's pollinating right now. That's food. So I'm getting a little distracted here by the beautiful thing around me. So those volunteers are doing something that has immense value, but because financially our system says that's not really profitable, those people are not paid to do this work. So what if we had a proper value system? It's flooded here, I can't go any further. But, ooh, there's all kinds of frogs hopping around here. Probably can't see them. Camouflage, they're invisible. But, there's one. There. Oh, he's hopping away. Go frogs, go. So if we could figure out a way to measure that value, like maybe people get to choose where their tax dollars go, and we're talking and sharing and trending these people who are doing great things like rebuilding prairie lands, regrowing forests and stuff like that. And basically what ends up happening is the value of this land, of taking care of this environment, translates to like a retirement fund or a higher standard of living. So we're all on universal basic income, and if you add value to the world, suddenly you get paid better and you can live a better life, or you can choose to further help people, and next thing you know, you can retire at a very young age because all you've done is helped people. And then you can choose what to do with the rest of your life instead of being a slave to your labor. Like if we can create a system like that, the government becomes obsolete. The banking system becomes obsolete. We have to be our own media system that decentralize information. Stop controlling information. Allow us to make our own choices and stop having experts telling us what to think, because unfortunately their pockets are lined, because they value money over the value of doing the right thing. And I think that's why we're seeing so much of the mistrust in science, in politics, and maybe these guys are actually trying to save us from the pandemic. I don't know. I'm considering both sides because I'm not an expert, and I just try to see through the politics of everything. So what if they are actually trying to save us, but they've fucked us so many times that none of us trust them? So now when they actually need us to listen to us, they've called wolf so many times that none of us are jumping. None of us are coming to the rescue. So how do we rebuild this? Well, I think it's possible for us to change. Like it's obviously we can't continue going back to the way society was, and I don't think we should in the first place. Like, I know that's going to hurt a lot of businesses, but what if we create this new value system? We start taking care of the world. We start doing all these good things. We still feed people. We create food. We take care of roads because that has value. And then we start seeing the shift in the world, where our action actually goes when we change our value system. And new businesses will come up. New sustainability, like sustainability should be a value. The more sustainable you are, the more resources you get because you're using them wisely. And corporations polluting and destroying the world will very quickly be in debt because they're costing the world a lot, and this is going to redistribute their trillions of dollars. And really, I think a lot of the value they've given themselves is based on a lie. They shouldn't be treated. Corporations should not be people. They don't have the same rights we do. That's an illusion. And they should work for us, not us for them. But anyways, just needed to get all that off my chest. Hopefully it made sense. If people have questions, obviously I'll try my best to answer them, or maybe it'll give me a better insight on how to explain this better. But generally, yeah, start being the change. It's time to stop asking the government to change, stop pressuring the government to change, stop using government. They are an excuse for not doing the real thing. So start doing something yourself. Some of the ideas that I've heard that are really great is check out the idea of time banking. If our money system collapses and we don't have a replacement value system, that is a way to capture and measure the time that you work for others, and then you can barter that time indirectly, so you don't need to have the exact desire that someone wants before they I'll change hands here. My hands are getting tired. So they don't have to change the like if someone wants his house painted, you don't have to be a house painter. You can go and help someone with one of your skills and take that hour of time, go to the painter and be like, hey, I've worked for someone else here, please help me do this. And then indirectly that guy earns an hour and he's able to find someone who does have painting skills to come paint his house. That makes sense. It's, using currency as current. That's the flow of energy. That's what money is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this thing created by banks as debt that then you owe interest on. That right there breaks the world, because it means we have to constantly extract and constantly exploit, and that ends up exploiting the environment, exploiting labor, and all these things. So then we end up in debt to everything, and that's why we live in a world of abundance while we are starving, while people are in poverty, because we've lost connection with the world and how the world actually works. So yeah, time to get back to nature, time to understand how things are, and that will hopefully set us free. But we have a lot of unlearning to do and a lot of relearning to do, and it's going to be a bumpy ride, so hang on guys. Peace out.